You were the IO in the last game. What do you do in fights as an IO? What you do is you sit within tether range of your carry, trying to stay within tether range. It was kind of hard because I had a blink. And you use overcharge to give them damage resistance and attack speed. And once in a while you use spirits, but it's not that required. But the main thing is to overcharge on bottling and healing yourself. That way it heals your carry as well. And that's pretty much it. And if things go really bad, you think they're gonna die in a normal game, then you should relocate back to your fountain to bring him back in time is what you should do. Because having a wisp out of the fight isn't that big of a deal. It's more important to keep your carry alive usually. And then when the timer is back, then you'll teleport back in or leave him and die for yourself. That's what you should do as a wisp. Yeah, I mean, Night Stalker is really good in air DM. Luckily, you guys got a Bane, so you're able to grip me for like 5 seconds and then follow up. Mask Menace build on Lifestealer. Yeah, I could do that. I should probably do it soon. I almost never. You're right. I never make a Lifestealer game. Do I know what I'm gonna be doing at TI5 yet? Once again, every time people ask this, I answer the question. Just to be clear, we don't have like people that go to TI don't control going to TI. Valve controls people going to TI, and you don't really find out on a reasonable. Well, it's been getting better, but what basically happens is you get a message from IceFrog, and he's like, hey, I was wondering if you wanted to do this thing at TI, and you're like, hell yes, I'm totally interested. But you don't like get to, I mean, you maybe get to discuss a little bit, be like, this is maybe what I feel strong at. And that maybe happened to other people, I don't really know. But at least for me, you just kind of get invited, and you're like, great, I'm there. And they don't always tell you super early. Like, for example, I'm not going to buy a TI ticket this weekend. But there's a vague chance that I won't get invited to TI, you know? Like, I asked that last year as well. I was like, I'm not going to be casting, I'm not going to be playing because we failed really bad in the qualifiers. I was like, do I need to buy a ticket? Or can I get a free one? You know, they're not even super free going. They were before, maybe a little bit, but they're clamping down on that more and more since the event is so big and so many people want to go. They can't just give out tons of free passes. I'm sure they could have done that at TI too, but so it's not something I control, and it's not something that I'll find out about for at least 2 months. Probably. I have met IceFrog in person. I'm one of the few, I think. I did meet him at TI2. I met him. Sniper, Spirit Breaker, and Lina will be top picks. Lina's not that weird, I guess. Spirit Breaker is not really top pick right now, so I wouldn't say that. Why has Naga not been played a lot in the past patches? It's hard to say. The hero was popular, and then she kind of just fell out. There's probably some, I don't know if there were nerfs to the hero. Maybe it was just people got better against playing against her. They ganked her more mid. I think some teams just kind of fell out of favor with her. Not sure. I don't really watch anime. Once in a while I read Attack on Titan, but I don't. I like wait like 6 months because they're released so slowly that I don't want to like check it every week or something. I used to read Naruto, but that's way over. That's pretty much it. And I mean, I've been reading Naruto since like college, so I just wanted to like see what happened. I feel a little guilty about Naruto, but it's pretty cool. It's not that bad. I don't really watch any other anime, to be honest. I actually don't watch that much media usually because I don't have that much time. I spend most of my time playing video games. Why is Shadow Demon not popular? The hero's kind of hard to use. He's not the best if you get behind. It's like, I think Shadow Demon's a pretty good hero, but the hero, you're kind of relying on your allies to do good things, I think, in a lot of cases. And you don't have damage unless you cast a lot of shadow poisons. Like, his damage is not reliable, I don't think. It's just, he's good at defensively disrupting and stuff like that, but there's just better supports that can do more varied things. Like, Crystal Maiden can gank, she can farm, she can sit behind people decently. Not the same as Shadow Demon, obviously, but people that do more things. Like, Shadow Demon's good in the late game, but in most cases, Swap is better. In almost all cases, Swap is better than Disruption. Not all cases, but in a lot of cases, Swap is better. So, all red heroes got nerfed across the board. Oh, that's right, because illusions, was it illusions do less? Yeah, illusions do less damage to buildings. I forgot about that. That may be one of the reasons. But as a whole, Naga's pretty good against pushing. Might also be that line is more popular now. When you have a line in the game, Naga's not as good because you can mana drain to one-shot the illusions, you can hex to one-shot the illusions, and line is just all around good at ganking. That might be one reason. You could see less Nagas as a result of line being more popular. There's a lot of stuff that happens like that. Is Medusa viable mid, or is she far superior in safe lane? She is viable mid. Just better to put her in safe usually. Keep her safe, pretty much. She can't really kill the opponent, which is a problem. Maybe not a problem, but a feature. She can't really gank the opponent very well. She doesn't help very much in a gank either, because her snake, it's hard to guarantee the bounce, so it's better to do other mid heroes, I think. 75% building damage, so they do less than they used to. Yeah, they nerfed illusion heroes like TB and Naga. Best way to get better fast, play a lot, focus on your mistakes. Think about every death and every gank, what could have been done slightly better. Make sure that if you're 1k MMR, you're probably not understanding mechanic efficiencies. And I would say go read my guide, but my guide's not ready yet. So when my guide gets released, I focused a lot more on like inefficiencies like attack moving, videos of attack moving, stun stacking, canceling spell animations, little things that can like slightly enhance your damage when you're ganking somebody. And that's the kind of stuff that you need to get better at. And once you understand what the maximum of damage and mechanics that you can have, then it's easier for you to notice when you do something wrong. Like being able to get good at video games and being able to get good at anything is really about being able to analyze what's the best path and then realizing what you did wrong. And if you can do that, you should be able to get good at things pretty fast. Like, I'm not trying to say that I'm like immensely talented at a lot of stuff or anything, but I am very analytical. So as a whole, I feel like I'm better than most people at getting good at things, which is probably one of the reasons that I'm fairly high in MMR, is that I'm good at analyzing mistakes that I make or analyzing what I think is probably the best. And it's not always right, but if you're good at analyzing more than the average person, you should get better than them faster. It may not mean you have more talent than them in the long run. What talent meaning, like, the more I think about it, I think talent is more just like, in a lot of cases, it's your brain's ability to think really rapidly is, I think, what also, so you've got like multiple coins to talent. I'm just like completely going crazy on tangents, but talent is like multiple compositions. It's like being able to think stupidly fast, being able to think about meta stuff like synergies, theory crafting, things like that. It might also have to do, you could argue, hard work and things like that. You know, there's a lot of aspects of talent. It's not just being able to outplay your opponents in a moment, but that's sometimes a lot of it. I still stay in touch with Blitz. Yeah, I play with Blitz all the time. Mostly CSGO right now. Why is TA not popular in the meta? Is it because of Sniper? Yeah, TA's pretty wrecked by Sniper, that's true. I don't know. I'm not really sure. TA's okay right now. I don't know if she's OP. You don't really know how to play hard lane. You don't know how to get experience while they zone me out. Can you help me? The most important thing to do is let your range creep go first, so that your creep equilibrium gets messed up. Make sure you block their pull camp, and from there you just have to sap experience, and then trade with their support. But make sure you don't trade long enough. Make sure to watch the situation, like where their carry is. Make sure you don't die. That's the most important thing. Just get experience. Trade with support sometimes. Mess up their pulls. Anticipate their pulls going through. When you feel comfortable, harass their carry. Prevent them from getting last hits. You're basically just trying to get lots of experience, a little bit of gold, disrupt their gold, and disrupt the things that they want to do. That's what you do as an offlane. Eventually, sometimes you gank. That's how you play offlane well. So just make sure you mess up the creep equilibrium. Do I play anything else besides Dota? I play Dota right now. I play CS:GO competitive, but I'm probably like middle of the pack. I just had a 1-star, whatever the heck that means, and I just deranked a little bit. So now I'm at the highest band of silver patches, whatever the heck that is. I think I'm okay at CS:GO, and I think I'm learning pretty rapidly. And my aim is a lot better now. My first issue when I first played was my aim was pretty terrible, but I shot bots for all, so my aim feels like it's getting a lot better. I feel comfortable shooting from long range. I feel comfortable doing one-shots with. I mean, I don't one-shot accurately, with an AK, but I feel comfortable attempting it. Before it was like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna hit his head. But now I feel comfortable attempting it. So I think my last hitting of opponents is better in CS:GO now. And I just played this Cities Skylines game last night. That was pretty fun. Played it for like 3 hours. I'll probably play it later tonight. That was pretty good. It's my favorite book. I really like Name of the Wind series. That guy was a professor at my college, actually, University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point. He used to write articles for the student newspaper that were really funny. And I saw him working on book 2 at a Chinese restaurant, at a Chinese buffet once, a couple of years ago. That was pretty fun. I wanted to say hi, but I didn't want to bother him. I wouldn't be surprised if I run into him at some point, like at a Quan or something, like a PAX or something. But he lives in Wisconsin, close to where pretty much in the same city that I went to school. Cities Skyline stream, maybe? If I do, it'd be much later. I don't know if I will, though. I had a lot of fun just, like, grinding it out. My MMR right now is 51-15. I like, never play solo queue lately. I play almost all party queue. But I wanna get my solo MMR out. I just gotta play more. Yeah, I really like Patrick Rothfuss. He's great. You played with me earlier. It's a 3.3k line. I don't remember which line you were. I played with a couple lines today that were about there. Most important thing on line that most lines make as a mistake at that MMR is that they all get mech. And mech is terrible. It's not like terrible, but it's not good on that hero. You should always get blink because you can blink hex. You basically turn your hero from like a kind of squishy support into a ganking monster, and you should be able to outplay people. If you're at 3.3k MMR, go Tranquil Boots and eventually get a blink. Hopefully you should be able to be a little greedy, let your other support by wards. And once you get blink, you should go around the map getting kills and participating really well in team fights. Blink hex, try to blink, impale 3 people, stuff like that. That's the biggest mistake that most 3.3k Lions make. Ever think to try RTS like StarCraft? I played StarCraft 2 a decent amount. Not like a lot, but a moderate amount. When it first came out, I got Masters League in first season, and then I pretty much stopped playing right away. It's actually the first video I ever uploaded on my channel. But everybody in season 1 was terrible, but that's like the same thing I was talking about later before. I get good at things faster than the average person. So in season 1, I got up to Masters, which was like 2% at the time, of top 2% of StarCraft players. But you know, I quickly fell off. Like everybody kept playing, and I'm not good at StarCraft. I'm not very good. I'm probably like gold or platinum right now, in comparison. But I used to play RTS a little bit. I played Red Alert a lot growing up. That was pretty fun. Zundyne, a good Heartland. Yeah, I think he's pretty good. He's a little rough. If you die, you're gonna have a bad time, because when you get behind, like heroes that are tanky while doing damage, are very intricate. If you die, you lose, but if you barely stay alive, then you get like a triple kill. So if you get a little behind and you feed on a hero like Undyne offlane, you're gonna have a really bad time, because he's still pretty good when you hit 6, but if you get really behind and they could just start killing your tombstone, then your hero's kind of bad. But if you get ahead, your hero just fucking owns the game. So I think Undyne is a pretty good offlane, but you have to do really well. Just make sure that when you trade hits with the supports, that you decay them. It makes a big difference. Lowers their HP by 80, increases your HP by 80, increases your damage by 4. It's really good for trading. So Undyne's actually a really good trading hero. I think he's a pretty good offlane. I don't think he's top tier though, but I think he's pretty good. Is that my only account in Dota 2, or do I have Smurfs or anything? I had like 1 or 2 other accounts, but I don't really use them. I would use them once in a while, but then I would stop using them and I forgot the passwords and stuff. So this is my only account. I never Smurf. Smurfing is kind of immoral in some ways. My MMR isn't high enough where I need to Smurf. Like if my party MMR was like 5800 and I was having trouble finding games, then yeah, whatever, maybe I should Smurf. Or if I want to play with friends that are 3k and I'm like, you know, I mean, I actually can't ranked party with some of my lower skilled friends, which might say like, oh, maybe I should play a Smurf. But you know, as a whole, I don't think it's really fair to do Smurf stuff. It's kind of lame. Can you find my stream on a VOD? Yeah, you can find all my VODs. I think people watch them. I don't know what the URL is, but I don't hide them or anything. So if you ever want to watch any of my streams after I'm done streaming, you can watch the whole thing. Yeah, my mic's low because I'm sitting away from it. Sorry. Yeah, you can watch all of my streams. I don't care. In a VOD form. Your 3K team played against a 5K player yesterday in a stack. Thanks, Smurfs. Are you sure it was a 5K player? Was he a Smurf? Okay. Yeah, that sucks. I always, whenever I play CSGO, I feel the same way. It's like, sometimes you feel like you're playing against somebody. It's like some guy that has 3 hours and he does the top kills on the enemy team, and you get wrecked, and you're like, God, I don't know if he's cheating or smurfing or what, but it fucking sucks. It's obnoxious. What do I got? Did somebody else? I reported 2 people today, I think. So I think I got both. Got him, guys. Nailed them. You don't think Sniper's that OP? Sniper's OP. You can shut him down, but Sniper's still good, I promise. You're assuming so much. Pudge Hook into Shadow Shaman Shackle is the easiest gank of all time. Like, you're assuming the hook's gonna land. You're talking about a Shadow Shaman sitting mid. Like, a level 1 gank isn't that good, guys. It's really not. In most cases, ganking the mid at level 1 isn't very good. It's really not worth it. Because if you fail, you're way behind. The offlane will start getting levels. He'll get level 2 at least before you get back. Then he'll maybe get level 3, and then you can't zone him anymore. Like, level 1 ganking is actually shit. It's not good. I don't recommend it. The only way it shuts down your opponent really hard is if you kill the courier with the bottle. If you kill the courier with the bottle, that's really good. But if you don't do that, then it's not very good. Because you're not getting much experience because he's still level 1. You want to get gold and experience from him. It's okay, but it's not amazing. I would say it's dangerous. Are you a bad person for trying to get a high calibration with a Smurf? You're 4.2k in your main and you're trying to get 4.5 to 5k away. I mean, if you make a Smurf, you're going to calibrate within 3 games. Like, you can't really do that much about it. I don't think that's that bad. Just don't, like... I'm saying, like, don't play on your friend's account or something. I don't know. Smurfing just... If you're within, like, 1k MMR, I don't think it's that bad to Smurf, but... How do you deal with Viper in the early as a carry if my team won't group to kill? The issue with... If a Viper's OP, the issue is that people are feeding the Viper. Viper's not that strong right now. You can definitely kill Viper with a lot of different heroes. There's a lot of heroes that are better than him. Desolator on Drow. I don't recommend it. She hits so hard, she doesn't need minus armor. Just get more agility and more attack speed and stuff. You don't need a Desolator. Just get like a hybrid agility item, it's better for your team, I think. Rough timing for Sniper Courier if mid 1 null first. Depends on the MMR completely. Well, I assume he's not going null first as a sniper. You probably mean Wraithband. It's like 3 minutes or something. 2 to 3 minutes, depending on the player. Maybe 2 to 4 minutes, something like that. You can get it. If it's after 3 minutes, it might have a flying courier. Your bracket still runs dual lanes, and whenever you try to practice safe carry, you get screwed by dual lanes, off lanes like Axlich every game, and your supports never know how to zone. Do I just keep playing mid till I get to a bracket where people do tri lanes? That is a hard thing to do. I'm gonna be completely honest. When I used to play sub games and I would do safe lane, if I got aggressively dual laned, a lot of games that had a lot of impact on us losing. I felt like playing mid was the only way to do it, to play it for the games to work correctly. The most important thing when you're aggressively dueling is that you get a safe try and then you have 3 really good nuke heroes. That's the most important thing. If that's the case, you should be able to kill them at level 1. I don't know if you watched my Bane game earlier or not, but we got aggressively dueling and we outplayed him with Bane and Ricky versus an Axe and... who was the other hero? Axe Puck. It's really weird. We ended up beating them in the duel lane. So I'd recommend watching that game. I think we did pretty well. In terms of your games, make sure your tri-lane is really good. Preferably get a range carry, but in most cases just get like a melee carry that's pretty strong. Like a Skeleton King, for example, somebody with a stun. Or a nuke is really good. And from there you should just try to kill him. And don't die. If you guys mess up the ganks, then you're going to lose your lane and it's going to severely impact your loss, or give you a higher chance of losing. My window's got to be open, because that is, like, I feel so much audio coming through. Why do aggressive tri-lanes on the hard lane rarely work, or what is done wrong? Part of the issue is that you can't pull as much, so you get less experience there. That's the first issue. But the main reason that it doesn't always work is because it's just a little dangerous. If it goes badly, then you lose the game, kind of, unless your mid or your safe lane stomps their off lane. It's good to do, though. If you know what their off lane is and you can pick a safe lane that's going to just wreck them in a 1v1, then just do it. That's what I'd recommend. What do I mean you will calibrate in the first 3 games? I mean that when you make a brand new account, the first game you play, if you like set yourself to like a terrible player, the first game is going to be stupid. People won't buy boots, stuff like that. within like 3 games, your MMR will be pretty close. Like if I made a new account and I played 3 games, I'd be pretty close to 4K MMR. Pretty like 4.5 probably, I bet. Because it takes your stats on the first 3 games. It says, oh, you wrecked game 1, oh, you wrecked game 2, oh, you wrecked game 3. You're obviously really good. You lied to us, you asshole. So Tread's a good pickup on bench. It's good. I like getting Tranquils usually, but it's good. Why is Weaver not that good? I don't know, countered by a lot of stuff. It's okay. Why have I played Dota like 100 years and I'm only 5K more? I don't think that's that bad, honestly. Like I'm not like a fantastically good player, but I'm okay. That's like a really high percentage point. Like there's a lot of people that have been playing just as long as I have and they're way worse than me. There's no shame in not being dandy, guys. It's okay, you can accept it. You've been thinking of trying Ricky offline and playing like a bounty. I think it's good. I made a Ricky game about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe a month. You should go watch it. It's pretty much exactly what you said. I like snowballed really hard, so maybe it's not the best example, but you should go watch it. It's pretty much what you just said. I know I'm only the top 0.1%. That's it. I'm so bad. No, I'm not gonna play any more games. How did I end up working in Dota? Okay. I'll give you a broad overview of my life. So, I graduated high school in 2005. I'm pretty old. For Dota, at least. Graduated high school 2005, then I went to college between 2005 and 2009. Then I graduated college in 2009 winter. I had been playing Dota since like 2007, 8. I'd played a little bit before, but I didn't start like only playing Dota until like 2008, 2007, somewhere in there. So I've been playing Dota a really long time, like 8 years, 9 years, something like that. 8 years probably. And then after college, I started playing StarCraft for a couple months because that was when StarCraft 2 came out. Played StarCraft for like 3 months, and then I played Dota again. And then I got a job after like 7 months of being out of college, and then I had a job for about 10 months. And then while I was working at my job, I was bored out of my mind, and I was like, I used to watch StarCraft 2 videos on YouTube. I used to watch HG and Husky and all those people that everybody watched. And I was like, wait, I can do for Dota what they did for StarCraft. So I just started making videos, and I knew that it was going to work as soon as I thought of the idea. I was like sitting in that office or that lab, and I was just like, I can make this work. Like I've got the right voice. I've been playing the game well enough. I'm pretty analytical. I can probably be a caster. I just knew, like instantly, as soon as I thought of it, I was like, this is going to work. So then over the next month, I figured out how to make videos, how to record, how to edit. I had like a dual core processor then, so it would take me like the whole night to render a shitty like 480p video or something like that. Maybe it was 720, I don't even know. It was a really shit quality video, but I used to make videos and I'd render them overnight. And at first I didn't use camera. It was Dota 1. It was like hotkeys were limited, all that stuff. It was kind of shitty. And then I just knew that if I posted a video a day, I would eventually get big enough where I would have a following where I could make it into a job. So I thought of the idea in like February or something like that of 2011, I think. And then by January of the next year, I had YouTube partnership. And then it was about around there I started making full-time living. It started off pretty low, but I eventually made money. That's pretty much what happened. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And then from there, I started casting a lot. Oh, I got laid off. I got laid off from that job. I kind of got fired. Did I get fired? I think I got let go. I don't know what the word was. My boss was a little unhappy with my my memory. He was kind of a shitty boss. I mean, I had faults as an employee, but it was a bad work condition. I think he wasn't a very good boss, and there wasn't a lot to do, and he was very like, he didn't want other people to handle things. He wanted to be hands on everything, but he wasn't always there, so it was kind of shitty. It just kind of sucked. And the first thing I did when I got home after being fired was I applied to be a Ghost Gamers caster, because I already had a little bit of casting on my YouTube, and I got hired right away, and that like started the snowball. It's kind of interesting how influential that was with my YouTube career. Got fired, went home, applied to Ghost Gamers because I'd already been casting for Dota Cash, and then bam, That's how I made it. I won't tell you where I worked. It was like a. I won't tell you the name at least. It was like a company that made computer systems that sampled from bioreactors, if that makes sense to you. That may not make sense to you, but that's what it did. That's where I worked. It was like a mix of programming and hardware and computer assembly and some hardware stuff. A little bit of programming, not much. Oh, what I took in college? I got a physics degree with an emphasis in electronics, which is basically like I took one electronics class and they were like emphasis in electronics, and I did an electronics internship in London in 2009 summer, right before I graduated, like a semester before. So that was, but it's mostly physics classes. Do I think I could have done this if I started today? It would have been harder. I mean, let's imagine that there was somebody else that wasn't me that filled the role that I, like let's say Merlini came into the scene earlier than I did, or Slasher came into the scene earlier than I did, and they made the same videos that they do now. In a lot of ways, my viewer, it would be hard to build up a viewer base, because people would be like, why would I watch this Purge guy if Merlini's already here or if Slasher's already there? And part of the reason that those guys don't make a shitload of YouTube videos is because I cornered that market. That's why it was so good that I started when I did, because I started, like, I don't know if you guys realize this, but like I streamed before Twitch TV existed. I streamed when it was just Justin TV. I was streaming Dota Cash games to like 50 people. Like there wasn't that many people that played Dota then. I'm just gonna reminisce like crazy right now because it's really fun to do. But when I was a streamer, like I was, when I first started making content, Toby was the only caster basically. It was like Toby and Synderen were 1 and 2, and there was Luminous was probably number 3, and there were some older ones like Mad Mortigan and stuff. But Nebula was a little popular then, but most of those people you guys probably don't even know. But you know, there was like nobody there. I worked myself up from nothing, and if other people did it first, like the reason part of the reason I'm so successful is because I did it so fucking early. Like when I streamed on Twitch, guys, when Twitch first came out, I was like one of 3 Dota streamers. Like if you look at the Dota streamers now, there's literally hundreds, but back then it was really tough to stream. Like people didn't understand how to do it very well. There was an OBS, you had to use XSplit, and XSplit was a little buggy, and it was resource intensive, and people's internet wasn't that good. Like we're talking 6 years ago, not 6 years, sorry, like 4 years ago. It was like hard to stream then, hard to make videos. People didn't know how to do it, so it was like the competition was way less. So like guaranteed that I had views on me in a lot of ways, and not that the viewer base was that big. The Dota scene wasn't that big, but I mean I was casting back then with Gods and myself, and Shiver was a Ghosty Gamers caster back then. She worked under me, not under me really. I mean she was like a junior caster. I was like a more popular caster when she first started. But it was like Shiver, Gods, and myself, and a couple other people that ended up backing out of casting and never made it. And then Toby was over at Join Dota, and that was most of it. And then other people came in. LD was a little bit late actually. He was like right before TI2. He ended up snagging TI2. Oh, AC was, it was like AC, Gods, myself, Shiver, Toby, there's a couple other ones, stuff like that. It was pretty fun. Thinking back, it was very, very competitive though. We were very competitive about being the biggest caster. I was, at least. I tried really hard to be the biggest caster, but Toby crushed me. I wasn't emotional enough back then, I think. But I used to cast Starlighter, like Starlighter Season 1. I casted all of the online games. I was the only English caster for Starlighter Season 1. You know, I was there in the past. But anyways, the original point is, let's say somebody else did what I did, or they did it in a vein similar to mine. Assuming, I mean, a lot of it is barrier to entry, right? Most people don't fucking sit down and end up making videos. Like, there could be somebody out there that's, like, better than me at doing what I do, but most of the time they just don't even start, and that's the biggest barrier, is that most of those people never start. So even if there is somebody that's, like, a lot of times you get haters that are like, oh, this guy sucks, but, like, Purge sucks at doing the stuff he does. I could do it better. And they say that, but then they never do it. And some of the times, yeah, they would be better than me. Like, there are people that would be better than me at that stuff, but they never do it. They don't give it the shot. So, assuming that those people don't exist, let's say that, or those people exist but never do it. Let's say the people that currently exist in the scene maybe try and do what I do. Maybe I could have made it. Like, look at OD Pixel. OD Pixel came out of nowhere. He told me he casted UK Dota scene for 1.5 years. Literally 1.5 years he was casting, which is why he's good, because he had tons of practice of getting better, but he didn't have a whole lot of exposure because he was casting like one of the deadest Dota scenes in the world. Despite the country being big and there being a lot of Dota players, I don't know why it's so. Well, I think the scene's okay, but it's like there isn't a lot of top talent is the issue. So ODPixel comes out of nowhere, finally gets his shot, makes it, and now he's a big caster and everybody. A lot of people really like him, and that's all it takes. Like you just still need the talent. Like it's not like it's a club. Like people get bored of watching all of the usual casters. People get bored watching Toby, LD, Gods, like all those people. Like you get bored of watching them. So there's new varieties always going to be incentivized and stuff like that. So I think that's plenty to talk about casters, casting history, my history in the scene. Seriously, I always think about that. There used to only be like 5 people streaming Dota 2 at any point in time, ever. I used to always get more viewers than every pro player except for like Dendi, and back then Sing Sing didn't even have viewers because nobody knew who Sing Sing was. The Dota scene was very different back in the day. A lot of the pro players barely made any money except for TI. Winning TI made you... It was like Navi was the only team that made good money then. All the other teams had bad salaries. They didn't get good stream viewers. They didn't get donations because nobody did donations then. Everything is very different. Like the esports scene's really advancing. So I think that's enough talking about that. Let's move on. People said stuff in the future that I'm going to be doing. Working on launching my website. It's almost done. My new website. And new branding is done. Going to integrate that soon. And new guide is mostly done. Almost done. Hopefully done within a week. Might not make it now. I said it was a week about last Sunday, but I'm late. I think it's going to be later than that, unfortunately. I should ask the other guy before I made that tweet. The guy that's helping me with the website. Announcer pack is the next thing I want to do. Maybe more coaching, and I think that's about it. More video variety, as always. How much can I squat? I actually don't work out, in case you guys didn't notice, from my huge muscles. But I'm going to start working out soon. Will I make more Dota for your mom? Yes. That's something I might do in the next week or two, honestly. Definitely going to do more of those. What's my annual income? I can't tell you that. No more game for today. Yeah, no more games for today. I think that Ice Frog is not really appreciated considering how much he did. I think people have long gotten over the appreciating Ice Frog, or not appreciating Ice Frog thing. If people don't appreciate him at this point, I think they're just wrong. It's more like everybody just jokes about it now. Everybody does. How can you remove the rubber band system? It's a really terrible system. It needs to be gone. Not necessarily. You have to realize why it got put into the game. It got put into the game because TI4 happened. Like, did you watch the TI Grand Finals? It was not that great. It was like, yeah, they just won money, but it was like, all the games just sucked. It was like, wow, they have a gold advantage. There's no possible they can come back because they played the game fucking perfectly. And that's what happened. They just played the games fucking perfectly. They played every game perfectly. And the tournament just ended, and it was like, that wasn't TI3, guys. That wasn't TI3. It wasn't TI3 at all. And that sucked. Like, so comeback makes the game more interesting, but now it's to the point where it feels... I think the issue is the amount of buybacks you get, the amount of buyback money. Like, the EXP part is pretty cool because as a support, you used to never hit 16. Like, almost never. And it's hard to remember that now, but most supports would never hit 16 in the past because you just didn't get that much experience from hero kills. But now you get, like, at least a level every time a hero dies. So the EXP part is cool. But the gold gain that you get from it is probably just too much. It's my mouse pad, by the way. Or my keyboard pad. I like playing with it. The amount of gold you gain is maybe too much, and it fuels too many buybacks. Like, because what happens is the initial buybacks are expensive, but as soon as you get a kill, you get at least like half your gold back. So basically incentivizes buying back too much, maybe. So every time that somebody attempts a Rex, you just get a buyback, and then the game actually equalizes, whereas the game doesn't end. Which in some ways is probably bad, I feel. I don't know. Like, games would be faster if there wasn't as much comeback gold. So that's the hard part. How do you balance it where you don't have TI4 Grand Finals, but you also have semi-long games? You don't want like the longest games ever, but like, I don't know, it might be the reason why we're seeing less and less established pro players just losing. I think it's partially because there's a lot of really good players. You're saying the comebacks are just as likely before, but it's not about the win ratio that I think is concerning. I think it's the amount of buyback money that people get. I think the issue lies in buybacks. I don't think it lies in gold gain. If anything, we should see a nerf to buybacks. I think that would be... I think that's what needs to happen. If anything, there needs to be a nerf to buyback in some way. Nerf buybacks, don't nerf the comeback mechanic. I don't know how buybacks should be nerfed. Maybe you increase the cost by a lot, or... But people are still going to save for buyback. I don't know. Buybacks need to exist in the game because otherwise the game would end randomly. The game would just be 5 mana and ganks if buyback didn't exist. Or there'd be more of that. I think they just need to nerf buybacks. That's the way to solve it. Is Midas good on Slark? No, I don't think so. Corey wrecked with it when we were in Korea, but I don't think it's good. How would you deal with an axe plus healing support cutting your tier 1, tier 2 against the support plus weak carry? All you need is a safe trialing with a lot of range heroes and you can beat that easily. Isn't it an overreaction outside of Ichi and Newbie? Everyone else was on even footing at TF4 and deciding to play really safe and draft the same stuff. See, that's the scariest part about it, was that it was literally just one team completely changing the metagame because they played perfect in a tournament. They abused the tournament perfectly, they abused the game perfectly. That's what's scary, because since then nobody's really been able to do that as well. My monitor's actually shut off. Nobody's been able to do that as well since Vici Gaming did at that tournament. That's what's so weird about it. Was it an overreaction? Maybe, but I think if they come back, it's a hard problem to solve. I just think they should nerf buybacks. I personally hate playing against buyback stuff. I think it's pretty obnoxious. It's like you win a team fight and you go in to go high ground, and they buy back their carry and they jump on you, you guys die. It happens way more now than it used to. Maybe it's just because the average skill level has been increasing. How's Corey been? Does he have any plans for Dota? I actually don't talk to him very much, so I can't tell you. But I'm sure I think he still plays Dota. I haven't seen him on a team recently. At least nothing seriously try hard. 5,000 gold buyback? I don't know. I don't think. Maybe they should do. I think they should increase the buyback time. What's the word? The buyback timer. Maybe increase it. It's at like 7 minutes, I think, 6.5 minutes. Put it up closer to 10. Maybe the respawn after your buyback should be higher, something like that. I'm not sure, but I think buyback is just, it should be in the game, but I think it should be more sparing than it is currently. I'm not sure though. What do I think the next meta heroes will be? You don't really know that until the patch comes through. Corey was a player on Zephyr, yeah. He was in Korea with us for the year. Something with delay buyback like 20 seconds after you press it? No, it shouldn't be 20 seconds. I think it should be instant. That would kind of ruin the purpose of it, honestly, if it wasn't instant. They should just make it cost more gold, make it punish you harder when you use it, something like that. Limited amount of buyback. That's actually an okay idea. You could do like 5 buybacks a game or something. Most of the time that doesn't impact anything though. It's a cool idea, but I don't think that's the way to do it. Limit buybacks so it's like a 10-second respawn. I just don't think that's the way to do it. I'm not sure though. Maybe give it 5 seconds or something. Maybe 2 seconds. I don't know. That way your opponents can react to it a little bit better. That's definitely one of the issues, that people aren't very good at reacting to buybacks. Buyback per game? Nah. That's way too drastic, I think. Way too drastic. People would never buy back, ever, then. Except for like when you're about to lose. That's the only time people would buy back. Buyback respawn, you have 1 HP or mana, so you have to regen. That's an option too. You could do that. It's kind of like, in the past, like a long time ago, when you'd respawn, you wouldn't have mana, you'd have to wait for your mana to fill. Remove the team net worth. Actually, I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. The way that the comeback gold currently works is that it's based, when you kill somebody, it's based on their team's net worth versus yours. So if you're really far ahead, you get a lot of net worth, even if you're killing their support. So what you could argue is, what that allows them to do is it allows, imagine one team's really ahead and like the other team has a storm, the team that's losing, and they keeps killing their Crystal Maiden. Even if the Crystal Maiden doesn't have that much net worth, he should be getting a lot of gold and experience based on the Crystal Maiden dying because she's a part of the big team. So it like really allows snowball heroes to go ridiculous, to get a lot of gold advantage. That's basically what happens. What it probably should be based on is the net worth of the hero that they're killing. If you kill somebody that has high net worth, you deserve to get the bounty from it. You know, you deserve to get the advantage. But if you're killing like the hard supports, I think that's a little weird. I don't know. I don't think it should be working like that. It should be based on the heroes that are snowballing, I think. I don't know if that's gonna make a big difference, um, but then how do you do the numbers? Do you base it on your team's net worth versus that guy's net worth? Maybe you base it on like your team's average net worth versus their net worth. I don't know. I don't know the solution. AUI 2000 says the poorest player is the 5 player on the winning team. That makes sense because, okay, I understand that now because you're talking on the scope of what I'm talking about. I saw that comment on Reddit, but I didn't understand it. It's because when the 5 on the Radiant team gets a kill or is around for a kill on the opponent's, the bonus gold he gets is based on his team's net worth versus their team's net worth. So his team is winning, which means that he doesn't get very much gold for a kill, is what happens. So the 5 on a winning team doesn't get that much extra gold from a victory kill. I mean, you could argue that he still doesn't have more gold than them because their team is winning, but I see the point. He doesn't get as much gold as their supports do for a comeback, and that's kind of weird. Kind of weird. Okay. Alright guys, no more spam please. Alright, I think that's it for my questions. That'll answer. Thanks for watching today guys, I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed me talking at the camera for actually 40 minutes. So it's going to be a 5-minute thing, but it's not, it never is. Just get in the mood and then I go ham. Alright, thanks for watching today guys. Post one of these videos and I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to be casting with ODPixel. And then on Friday again, not sure I'm casting with them, but I'm going to be doing Summit 3. So, goodbye. See ya.